Welcome to this SkillPad video resource where we make learning fun. In this video, we are going to look at food chains and food webs, or how living organisms prey on each other for their nutritional needs, except plants, of course, which make their own food. Have you ever wondered how the smallest insect could influence the survival of a mighty lion, or how plankton is the reason why a massive whale has all the food it needs? This fascinating interconnectedness unfolds through the concepts of food chains, food webs, and ecological pyramids in the world of biology. A food chain illustrates the feeding relationships between different organisms in an ecosystem. It starts with a producer, an organism that makes its own food, typically a plant. It's followed by a series of consumers, organisms that eat other organisms. This chain of eating and being eaten forms a straight line, or a chain. For instance, in a simple terrestrial food chain, a green plant, our producer, is eaten by a grasshopper, the primary consumer. This grasshopper, in turn, is gobbled up by a frog, the secondary consumer, which then becomes a meal for a snake, the tertiary consumer. The snake may finally be consumed by an eagle, the quaternary consumer. However, nature isn't a series of straight lines. It's a complex web. This is where food webs come into play. A food web is a network of interconnected food chains. It shows a more realistic representation of who eats whom in an ecosystem, as most organisms consume more than one type of animal or plant. Now imagine stacking up these food chains and webs into a pyramid shape. You'd have an ecological pyramid. The base of the pyramid consists of the producers, the middle layers represent the various levels of consumers, and the top tier comprises the apex predators. There are three types of ecological pyramids: pyramids of numbers, biomass, and energy. The pyramid of numbers shows the count of organisms in each trophic level. The pyramid of biomass represents the total mass of organisms at each level. Lastly, the pyramid of energy displays the amount of energy at each trophic level, which decreases as one ascends the pyramid. This decrease is explained by the 10% rule. This rule states that only about 10% of the energy at one level is available to the next. This is because organisms use most of their energy for life processes like growth, reproduction, and movement. Now, let's shift our focus to the carbon cycle, an essential component of life on Earth. Carbon is cycled through the atmosphere, oceans, soil, and the bodies of organisms in a series of steps. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere for photosynthesis, creating food for themselves and oxygen for us. When animals eat these plants, they take in the carbon and release it back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide when they breathe out. The carbon cycle plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which in turn influences our planet's climate. To sum up, food chains, food webs, and ecological pyramids are fundamental concepts that help us understand the intricate network of life. They illustrate how energy and matter flow through ecosystems, from the smallest plankton to the largest whale. The carbon cycle underpins these systems, ensuring a balance of carbon dioxide that shapes our planet's climate. Understanding these concepts is not only fascinating but also crucial. It reminds us that we are part of an interconnected web of life and that our actions can influence the balance of this delicate system. After all, even the smallest organism can have a ripple effect on the entire food web. So the next time you see a tiny insect or a green plant, remember they might be small, but their roles in the grand scheme of life are anything but insignificant. Thank you for using this SkillPad video resource. We hope it was insightful. Come with us as we journey through the world of science for your learning pleasure. We hope to see you again soon.